All right, today we're tackling something huge, something absolutely profound that's been reported from the very edge of life and death, the life review. We're going to draw on decades of incredible research to break down what actually happens in this, honestly, life-changing experience. So let's get right into it. You've heard that phrase a million times, right? My life flashed before my eyes. But what if I told you that for thousands of people who've had a near-death experience, or NDE, this isn't some dramatic movie cliche. It is a very real, incredibly vivid, and life-altering event. So what's it really all about? So first things first, it's super important to know that the life review doesn't just pop up out of the blue. It's usually the grand finale of a much bigger journey, a whole sequence of events that people report with just stunning similarity, no matter their culture or what they believe. So what's that journey like? Well, time and time again we hear it starts with this feeling of floating, right out of your own body. Then there's a sense of being pulled, moving through a dark space, often called a tunnel, and heading towards this unbelievably brilliant, warm, and loving light. And it's right there, within that light, that the life review usually kicks off. Okay, we've made it to the light, and now we get to the main event. This is probably the most famous part of the whole NDE, and you know what? It's also the part people misunderstand the most. So what is it exactly? Well, researchers describe it as this panoramic playback of your entire life. But seriously, forget thinking of it like a movie. It's often called instantaneous. Like every single moment of your life happens all at once. But here's the wild part. It's all perfectly clear. You see everything, your biggest moments, and even the smallest little things you'd completely forgotten about. And that is the key. You're not a spectator here. You're not just watching from the sidelines. People are so consistent about this. They say they are reliving it all. Every action, every word, even the thoughts you never ever said out loud. It's all there, in perfect clarity. But as incredible as that sounds, this is where the experience takes a turn into something way deeper. We move beyond just your own memories and into something so much more connected. Honestly, this is the part that changes people for good. Look, if the whole thing stopped right there, with just reliving your own life, that would be remarkable enough, right? But it doesn't. It goes so much deeper than that. And here it is. This is the absolute game changer. You don't just see the things you did, you experience the consequences from the other person's perspective. You literally feel the warmth and joy a quick compliment gave to a friend. And yeah, you also feel the sharp sting of pain a thoughtless comment caused a loved one. It's like a direct, unfiltered masterclass in empathy. So what happens when you go through something that intense? Well, it tends to flip your entire world on its head. It just completely resets your priorities. Across the board, people come back from this with a totally new sense of what's important. All that stuff that seemed like the biggest deal, promotion, status, what you own, it just kind of fades into the background. And what's left? Kindness, love, the connections you have with people. That becomes everything. Now, I know what you might be thinking. This all sounds a lot like Judgment, right? Like some final exam where all your good and bad deeds are tallied up. Well, what people actually report is something entirely different. The difference here is night and day. Forget the old ideas of some big, scary judge passing down a sentence. The life review is almost always described as self-evaluation. It's not about being punished or feeling fear. The whole point, with the help of that loving light, seems to be about understanding, about learning, about growing as a soul. Think of it less like a trial and more like the most profound educational experience you could ever imagine. So let's put it all together. After you go through this incredible, panoramic, intensely empathetic review of your entire life, what's the big lesson? What's the point of it all? When you strip away all the complexity, all the mind-bending details, what is the one single truth that this experience is trying to teach us? Over and over and over again, the answer comes back to this. The review isn't some cosmic scorecard of your wins and losses. It's a measure of connection. It suggests that those little ripples of kindness, of compassion, of love that we create, in the end, that's all that really matters. That's a pretty powerful idea to hold on to.